First time on Sunrise to send a united message Australians can't ignore. With heaters on, chargers working overtime and winter comfort food back on the boil, authorities warn the cold snap also brings a deadly surge in accidental fires.
From homes to schools and shops, we're seeing the same dangerous threats. So, what is sparking these fires and what are the simple steps that could save a life? This is quite an impressive lineup. For more, we're joined by commissioners from right across Australia. Jeremy Futrell in Sydney, John Corkart in Brisbane, Scott Hares in Perth, Jeff Swan in Adelaide, Joshua Fisher in Melbourne. Good morning to you all. Jeremy, I'll start with you. What is the main preventable mistake that you're seeing?
Well, one of the things that's very concerning for firefighters is for almost half of the 4,000 fires in people's homes last year, we found that people didn't have a smoke alarm at all, or the smoke alarm they had wasn't working. And that simple thing that sits on the ceiling can be the single biggest thing that makes the greatest difference to the safety of your family. And so we're encouraging all people to make sure they spend just a few moments to check that the smoke alarm is there, but more importantly, that it's going to work when they need it the most.
Yeah, that is a really good tip. It's something we can all do now. John, how quickly can fires take hold in your house?
Yeah, well, thanks very much. As Jeremy just said, one of the fundamental reasons that we're pushing smoke alarms is the rate of fire spread, and people can consistently say how surprised they are how quickly a fire can move throughout a house, particularly if it's an open plan. And it doesn't matter whether it's an old Queenslander, fully timbered, or whether it's a double brick home on a slab. It's all about the furnishings, and it's about the fire load that there is inside the house. So, which is why one of the reasons that we say that if anybody is caught in a fire and they're evacuating, to shut the doors behind us. So we're asking people to take care, particularly with open flames, old heaters, watch where they are located around curtains, and certainly take care over this winter period.
Scott, let's go to you in WA. We're seeing more fires linked to things like e-bikes, scooters, the power banks. What are people getting wrong, and can throwing water on those flames on the battery fire make it worse?
No, copious amounts of water actually help, but what would ask you to call 000, so we can bring the water with us. But the mistakes people are asking, and what we're asking them to do, is when they charge it, make sure they charge it on a non-combustible surface with e-ridables. Charge them outside. Inspect their lithium-ion batteries for any damage, and make sure they don't overcharge them. As soon as they're charged, take them off charge. So that's what we're asking members of the community to do.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because a lot of us just leave it there by the bed.
I think it's so hot and burn up, and not inside the home.
On the wooden table. Jeff, is home heating still a major issue?
Yeah, it certainly is. Home heaters are actually the most common cause of fire across the winter months, and these are completely preventable. So we would actually really ask people, make sure your heater is installed by a qualified tradesperson. Turn off your heater whenever you leave the room or leave the house, or if you don't need it on during certain periods of the day. And make sure you keep combustible materials well clear of your heater. Keep them well out of that range, and keep them well clear.
Yeah, Joshua, let's go to you now in Melbourne. This is a good one for parents. What should every parent be teaching their kids about fire safety?
Look, in emergencies, we know that people often panic and may not know what to do, and this is particularly so for young children. So we encourage all families to develop and practice a home fire escape plan that involves your children, because we know that they are among the most vulnerable when it comes to home fires, and a developed and practiced home fire escape plan together with working smoke alarms in all living areas and in all bedrooms could be the difference between life and death. So practice that home fire escape plan, do it together with your family. Tailor it, particularly so if you've got people that may need assistance in evacuating, that they know where to go when that smoke alarm activates, that you call 000, you alert the fire authorities, and you make sure that you are safe. Fire services right across Australia have a number of fire education programs in schools, and these are really great ways that we can get kids active and involved, understand the role of fire and rescue services. We can teach them basic home fire safety tips, and we often find that they're the ones that are educating their parents after those programs when they get back home from school.
Jeremy, we'll just go back to you. I know when we do fire stories during winter, people say that the fireys say, look, they brought a heating source into the house that shouldn't be there. Could you talk to that?
Yeah, occasionally we see these, or all too regularly really, because it has devastating effects. We see people bringing heaters that are designed for outside, bringing them inside, and it might be the time when there's a real cold snap in the winter, but what that leads to is a chance of the fire starting in the property, but also it creates carbon monoxide gas, and that is what kills people. And we have periods of time where people are bringing these inside, and inevitably we have tragedies where families are dying. Carbon monoxide doesn't smell, and the people that are breathing it in have no sense of what's happening to them, and it just quickly makes them go to sleep, and then they pass away. So it's incredibly dangerous, not only from the risk of fire, but also from the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Very good point. All right, all of you commissioners, impressive lineup, impressive messages, and we'll make sure that this goes on all of our social media channels too, so we can repeat the warnings that you've given. Thank you all for coming together.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.